So yeah, Grand Cayman is very much on the top of mind for many people at the moment.
Absolutely. And also talking about like distances too, if it's Miami that you're in, it's an hour and a half. If it's New York or Toronto, it's 4 hours. So Grand Cayman is accessible for really everybody. And that's what makes it an incredible hub. So as far as Grand Cayman goes, as Margaret says, it's exotic, it's wonderful, it's accessible for everybody and is a really great global hub. There's about 230 new fintech companies that have set up in Grand Cayman. We're talking about all of the big four consulting firms are based there as well that have got there. And of course, it's a really wonderful place to go for tax purposes. So we're talking about a tax neutral territory, no inheritance tax, no capital gains tax. This is a wonderful opportunity for you to be able to sell it to your buyers. So let's have a look at what it is. Let's have a look straight away at the development that we are representing on behalf of Mandarin Oriental that we all know and love. Those of us that were in Miami recently saw Mandarin Oriental Miami. That is in development. And of course, here in London, we've got the Mandarin Oriental, both the original and of course, the wonderful one that we have in Mayfair. So here is the most exquisite development. And I think it's really great. Actually, what I'll do, rather than, because Marguerite is fantastic at doing this. I love doing this presentation, but Marguerite has given us the joy of her presence. So Marguerite, I'm going to hand over to you to do an overall of what we're looking at here.
Amazing. Thank you so much. So we've got a bird's eye view, as you can see, of the development here. And I'm going to start right in the middle. Zach, if you can, I can use my pointer actually. So right in the middle, we have yes, thank you. A really lovely, I can't find my pointer. A really lovely entranceway and arrival sequence. So it's a low-rise building, and you're met at the entranceway. It's that smaller building on the left-hand side there. Thank you, Zach. Exactly. And as you arrive, you are greeted, and you've got this beautiful interior design by the top design firm voted by Hospitality of the Year. Best designer of the year, Maya Davis, who are just amazing. So you've got this very kind of natural environment, low scale environment that you walk into and have these automatic, breathtaking views of the Caribbean Sea. In fact, the entire development is front loaded, so there are no car park views. Everything overlooks the ocean. So all the circulation is at the back, and wherever you are, you're just in these breathtaking ocean views. So your arrival sequence will take you either left to what we call the beach house or right to what we call the ocean house. And we've got 20 residences at the beach house and 22 residences at the ocean house. So if we start with the beach house, this is for a buyer that loves the vibrancy and amenity connection to the hotel. So we've got 5 floors of hotel that sit on. Actually, you can go back to the map. I mean, that's I'll spend most of my time here, and then we can fly through everything else. So don't worry, we're not going to spend as much time on every single slide as I am on this one. But the hotel is on the bottom 4 levels, and then above you've got the residences on the 5th floor to the 9th floor. This master plan of the hotel and its core services was designed by Hart Howerton, who joined me in Miami. They are one of the most highest rated architectural master planning firms in the world for at this level of luxury and elegance. They really let the architecture sit back and let you enjoy your surroundings. You shouldn't really notice the architecture. It should just allow you to enjoy where you are with these huge terraces, floor to ceiling glass. You're just really immersed in the nature that is this location at St. James Point. On the right-hand side, we have an incredible architect and interior designer who's just inducted into the French honours of architecture end of last year. If you can just zoom to the right, Zach, on Ocean House. Thank you. Perfect. Lovely view. So the Ocean House is pure residential. So the resort is fully integrated. So you can go from the Ocean House to anywhere on the beach house or the Mandarin Oriental. The only difference being that hotel guests from the Mandarin Oriental cannot come into your space. So you've got a private pool for residences only and a club lounge. So it's quieter. So there's product for two different personalities, those that love to be in the middle of all the action and those that love to choose when to integrate with the action but enjoy kind of peace and tranquility. We are equally sold out in both buildings. So people always ask me, which one's better? Which one is more popular? And we're neck to neck sold out equally amongst the two. So it really depends on the personality type. In the middle, we can just see here, we've got ocean facing gym and fitness center, ocean facing spa. And if you can kind of zoom in a little bit, Zach, you can just see those plunge pools in the couples treatment rooms on that kind of top level there. So you have your treatment room, your own private plunge pool and your couple treatments area. So you're really exposed to the sea environment and enjoying those views. 5 swimming pools. So we can see one in the foreground, which is a private Ocean House residence pool. We've got the fitness pool in front of the spa. We've got a swimming pool, family pool in front of the beach house, as well as a kids pool and an adults only pool. There are also 5 food and beverage outlets, from 3-meal restaurants to a specialty restaurant. We're kind of looking for a Michelin star chef to take over the restaurant. So hopefully we'll be announcing that soon. And yeah, beach club, all the water sports that you could possibly see. If you just widen out to the beach, Zach, I'll just say my last piece on this image. When I was last there, I was snorkeling in this. So you've got this lovely kind of lagoon. And the whole point of this jetty here is to protect the beach, because at 7 Mile Beach on the west of the island, they're suffering from a lot of beach erosion. So we've worked with scientists to ensure that we're doing the right thing, having stones and structure that will encourage coral reef growth, but also protect that sand, so the depth and the width of the beach that we have, so it's there forever. And when I was last there, I was swimming in the calmer waters that these jetties provide. If it does get a little bit wavy on the outside, it's beautifully calm in there. And I had the delight of snorkeling with a turtle. It was just beautiful. So the nature there and the coral reef and this beach, as I can see you smiling, Michael, I love that. But this beach is a turtle nesting ground, and the glass of the buildings has been at great expense purchased so that minimal light pollution goes onto the beach, so the turtle hatchlings do not get confused and go out to the ocean. So it's got that gentle touch to ensure that nature continues to thrive. So I'll finish on that slide, Claudia, if you want to take over.
Well, I just thought maybe we just touch on like what is like available, like the sense that we've got 3-bedroomed apartments.
Yeah.
And they're like from 3,500 square feet, but the outdoor space is what's exceptional, isn't it? I mean, we're talking about them having like an average of 1,000 square feet on the outdoor spaces as well.
Yeah.
Like 10 million and above 10.5 million. But we also do have penthouses. So we've got penthouses from $25 to $37 million as well, available both obviously from the Ocean House and the Beach House as well. I just wanted to tell them about the size of the properties, Marguerite.
Yes, absolutely. So we've got 1 2-bedroom left at that starting price is at 8.2 million. And then we have a rather dramatic penthouse of 2 bedrooms. So it's kind of those that love space but don't really want lots of guests. And so that's at 14 million. Then we've got 3 bedrooms ranging from 10.3 to 12, and then 4 bedrooms 16.8 million to 25 million, and then 5 bedrooms 18.5 to 37 million. So that's giving you a price per square foot of 2,500 to 2,700 per square foot, which is, I know these are high numbers, but you've got to remember that Grand Cayman is the 5th largest financial center in the world. So we've got young fintech kids turning up and snapping up $14 million apartments at our comps at Watermark, Ritz-Carlton, or Lacovia. So there's very little stock on the market at this level. So you've got the only other serviced hotel residences is the Grand Arm and beautiful property of the Ritz-Carlton, but it is 30 years old. And if you're buying there, your kind of entry point is 20 million, and you've got a big refurb ahead of you because the interiors haven't been touched for 30 years. So it really is a unique market. It's what I would say is that we touched upon the tax. I'm jumping around. Sorry, Zach, am I driving you crazy?
No, not at all. I'm just trying to do my best to complement what you're saying with what we have.
Amazing. So whilst we've got this map here, we're just out of the hurricane zone. So, you know, you always see the kind of hurricanes hit the Bahamas and Florida, and we kind of just Haiti, Dominican Republics. We're just outside, kind of protected by Jamaica and Cuba. That being said, storms do hit. I mean, we are an island in the middle of the Caribbean Sea. However, we've been built to a strong code to allow for all of that. And we're also on the highest point of the island at 32 feet. So if you hear about storm surges, the highest you tend to get is 20 feet. So, yeah, we're very protected from that. If that comes, that's a kind of classic question that comes up.
Marguerite, may I ask a question? Is it part of the or close to the Yucatan Peninsula there? Because I used to live on Roatan Island in the Bay of Honduras, and we had the Yucatan, and we were very secluded from the hurricanes and the storms with that.
Yeah, exactly. We are. So if you take a line straight that way, you hit the Yucatan Peninsula. Yeah. And I'm going to be announcing something on the Yucatan Peninsula very soon. So we should stay in touch on that
Yes.
in the same caliber as this. So yes, no, go back to the last slide. I was going to talk about tax neutrality. So when I go to Grand Cayman and I make the mistake of saying it's a tax haven, I get my hand slapped immediately and hard. It is not a tax haven, and they do not like being referred to as a tax haven. They're not a Panama Papers type of location. This is a very transparent economy that has international banking and financial standards linked all over the world. So all your taxes and your net wealth will have a massive KYC on it, and it will be transparent to all the official banking bodies. Unlike kind of Panama and places in the Bahamas, this is a place to do business. That being said, there's no income tax, there's no capital gains tax, no inheritance tax, no annual property tax. So the island is your tax is on consumption. When you're on the island and you're enjoying the amazing restaurants and the vibrant lifestyle of Grand Cayman, or you're importing a really sexy car, that's where the government's getting its tax from. So it's taxed on consumption. The island,
Marguerite, if I may say, we call it tax planning. I think is perhaps more appropriate.
They love the word tax neutrality. I've had that drummed into my head, but it's very good for tax planning. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's a lot of whether it's legacy planning or balancing out that portfolio. And Michael, you were just alluding to kind of where the world is at the moment. I mean, this time last year it was all tariffs, and that seemed like a horror story. And now I just want tariffs back because that was a lot friendlier than what's going on right now. However, Grand Cayman, given the fact, and Claudia, you touched upon this, it's not just the big four consulting firms. It's 80% of international banks are represented on Grand Cayman. The same for accountancy, insurance, legal firms are represented on Grand Cayman. I was sitting with an ex-financier at this conference I've just come back from, and she was telling me that trillions of pounds, dollars, yen go through Grand Cayman every single night on their way to different parts of the world. So it's like ripping up a quarter of Wall Street and sticking it on a Caribbean island. It's an incredibly sophisticated market. Because it is a self-governed British territory and there's only 96,000 people living there, the government isn't bogged down with the same metrics and standards that the US government, the Canadian government, the UK government, the EU government have to go through in terms of changing law. So the Grand Cayman is an expert of looking out for the best laws that allow finance to work really well in their jurisdiction. So they have some of the most sophisticated laws in and around Bitcoin, fintech. Again, not for those people that are hiding their money through digital currencies, because you still need a KYC with your digital currencies. But those investors that really believe in Bitcoin, you can find them all in Grand Cayman. And, you know, they are making a fortune, and they are, a majority of these fintech companies are based there because the Grand Cayman government are so strong on providing laws that make this jurisdiction great for business. So it's incredibly cosmopolitan. I think out of that few number of people that live there, pretty much every country in the world is represented, and it's a really equal balance. So it's not like some other parts of the Caribbean where it just feels a bit kind of person of color serving white people, which just feels a bit icky in today's world. You'll have Italians, you'll have local Grand Caymanians, you'll have a mixture of everyone. It's incredibly cosmopolitan and fun in that nature. So the lifestyle elements are endless. You've got great bars, great restaurants. It's known as the culinary capital of the world. And then, of course, you've got sailing, boat trips, and just all that nature to explore.
Can I
Where
just,
are we going?
well, I just want to say, to pick up on something about crypto, because I'd like to let everyone know about the fact that for anybody who has got fintech, you know, clients, and they are into crypto, you can purchase, and that's a really great thing. You can purchase in crypto. And so this is really important, and crypto mortgages that will be governed under the same, legislation as AML. It will be still checked in exactly the same way. But it's a really good point to make, Marguerite, about the crypto purchase.
Yes. So the first crypto mortgage was launched in Grand Cayman in September of last year.
Yeah, that's a really good.
Don't ask me the logistics of it.
What's the rate?
Yeah, what's the rate? Amit wants to know.
Yeah, I can put you in touch with the right person.
We're joking about, well, not joking, but yes. But it's really good that we have that. Now, I really want to point out some things like, why is this a really good idea to be talking to your buyers for it right now? Obviously, it is a good idea. There's a lot of people that might not be reinvesting in potentially the States, and that's going back from when just different things that have happened geopolitically before even now. And why have I been speaking to my buyers about it? First of all, obviously, it is a great tax neutral destination. It's beautiful, average temperatures, mid-20s to late 20s all year round. And then obviously the big thing about this is it's Mandarin Oriental. We're talking about 60 years of legacy. And so
150-year birthday this year, Claudia.
150-year birthday, but the whole legacy of the brand together. That's what we're talking about when it comes to branded residences. And I feel like that's an important part of it. You've got this branded residence that you buy, but you can also put into the Mandarin Oriental rental pool as well, which is a significant thing to be able to offer to your buyers. But yeah, I think they're the big things I would be saying, but also as well from the fact that it is somewhere you can go and have a really beautiful holiday with your family, but you're also going to be able to have this really great, I mean, actually, if I'm allowed to say, from people that have bought from the beginning, Marguerite, and to when they finished, we may be talking about an uplift of something like 34% or something.
Yeah, so absolutely. And we're still in pre-con pricing. So that, you know, if you haven't got you won't get into the maximum, but, you know, there's still a long way to go. So it's definitely a part of the purchase at this stage.
the scarcity of the properties there that are beachfront like this. And of course, it's the first time Mandarin Oriental has built their residences in the Caribbean. So this is incredible. So I think they are really good to point out. But from a broker point of view as well, your commissions, and I'll send out all of you the information on the commissions, they will be paid actually upfront on the signed purchase, on the signed sales agreement. So unlike a lot of the other properties that we have in the Caribbean, where you're having to wait for your commissions at different structures or different times, you will get that straight away as soon as the agreement has been signed and everything has been approved, and then the commissions get paid 14 days. So I really like things like that. I think that's really great too. We'll also be sending you out all of the available apartments that are available, the current pricing as they stand, and some packs that you can put your details on as well to send out to your clients. A way of engaging them to say, hey, look, did you know this is the first time the Mandarin Oriental has, come to the Caribbean, and this is a really good opportunity, and we'll put some stats together for you as well.
Yeah, I just want to mention on that fact that Mandarin Oriental right now is sitting at the top of the leaderboard of 5-star hotels, and I'm not just saying that to sell you stuff. That has been proven by the magazines that rate these hotels. So Mandarin Oriental has won that title of top 5-star brand for 3 years in a row now. And that's because of their association with Michelin star brands and good designers, and also growing at a pace that makes sense to the brand, so they can really have that brand stewardship. Claudia, Zach, and I know very well how proud they are of that brand and that heritage, and how we've been inducted into that world with such passion and detail. And then the Mandarin Oriental Spa brand has been voted the best spa brand for 4 years in a row, and that offering's just going to go up a level. So they're about to announce a new holistic addition to the spa and wellness offering that is so much sought after in today's world. It's really kind of booming market at the moment.
And also as well, schooling and medical facilities as well, if any of your clients ever ask you about it, are top notch and incredible as well. And then obviously being as well, when you're thinking about it from a structure, from a law and jurisdiction, and that there's a lot of British laws there as well. In fact, I think governor actually of the Grand Cayman gets elected in the UK. So it feels a little bit like for somebody who wants to invest in the Caribbean. I know this because we have a lot of properties all over the Caribbean. And sometimes when you have people that are coming from the States or Canada, they get a little bit worried about that. They kind of think, oh, I don't know where I'm putting my money and that kind of thing. So going back to what we said about the amount of companies, that currently there's over 100 major banks that are based in Grand Cayman. And so I think it's a really good, safe way of you being able to say quite clearly to your buyers that Grand Cayman is a really good place for them to put their money. And obviously as well from the tax point of view as well, definitely hammer that home when you're talking to them about the tax neutrality. I think that's a really good point to put in there. But then also lifestyle it with them. Mandarin Oriental really does sell itself anyway. So it's the location, it's the brand, and of course then it's looking after your money. That no inheritance tax, no capital gains, all of that is really important with legacy planning. And the big advice would be maybe for them to have a conveyancing solicitor on island. So that's really good for them too, or at least have their solicitor to be talking to. And that's just to make sure that everything gets put through. It was a 7.5% stamp duty. I believe it's gone to 10% now in January 2026, but that's still better than what we have here. So
yes, but just a note on that is the and that's based on the price when you get your keys. So it won't be on your pre-con price, it'll be on the achievable price when you get in. So that's how they do business.
Sorry to interrupt. I have a quick question. How is title held? And what are the benefits or the pros or cons of each scenario for holding title?
There's strata leases, which is really good. So you actually own your building, and then you become part of that strata company, if you like. So then you will all
It's the same as condo regime, right? So you own the land, you own your home, and then you share in the running costs through the HOA.
And what are those running costs? Are like an HOA, or what are they running on average?
They are running at between 20 and 22 US dollars per square foot per annum.
Okay.
So I think that's
Very reasonable.
yeah, I mean, for the amount of services that you get. That being said, on top of that, there is a $26,000 St. James Club fee, and that's your resort fee. So that gives you total interaction and integration in the resort. So you're not having to book beds and pool access, and so you can use the gym, you can use the spa, you can use every single pool, you can use the concierge, you can use the beach, you can go anywhere, and it's yours to use as you see fit.
So that's per year.
Yeah,
26,000. Okay.
for your family or your tribe or designated tribe. Yeah.
What we'll do is, if anyone has any other further questions that come, then definitely just send them. I think we're connected to all of you on WhatsApp. You can just send them to me, but we'll follow up this with all of that information. We're really trying to think of all the questions that your buyers will ask and put them together for you. So we'll send that. But does anybody have any pressing questions right now? Because I am also mindful that some of you are starting your day, but I'm also mindful that some people have got other training to get to. Has anyone got any particular questions they would like to ask now, while we've got Marguerite here as well? No. So I think what we could do is just follow up this with why is it a good idea to buy in Grand Cayman now? A little bit about Mandarin Oriental, which I know all of us know, but it's nice just to have that paragraph about them, and then exactly what's available and the benefits to it. But then also we'll have all of the pricing as well as the charges and everything. So we'll try and get like a really nice concise pack together for you. Then I'll follow that up with the commission structures too, so that you've got that. And please just talk to everybody about it. Re-engage with buyers that you know have got some money, that you know have been looking to put it somewhere and you're not quite sure, or just use it as an angle to just give them a call and say, hey, did you know it's the first time Mandarin Oriental have gone to the Caribbean? Sometimes that's just quite a nice thing to say without it being too salesy. It's just information to share.
Yeah, and I think right now, in terms of, I don't want to sound too salesy because you guys know this game really well, but I saw a meme on socials the other day, and it was this guy at his computer. He had about 4 computer screens, and he's just frantically going over all his screens, and he's got charts and bits of post-it notes on his walls. And the caption was, "Where to put your money in today's markets." I think it was over the weekend that I saw this, and I was just like, "Well, Grand Cayman, it's just this unique bubble that is out." I'm going to find it and use it as a kind of outreach to my sphere of influence. But really it's this kind of haven bubble that's not US, it's not UK, but it is very much under the British law and strong government, strong economy. And it's just away from all those, we're going to see, obviously oil prices are going up. There's just, it is what it is. It's pretty nightmarish. But I just think in terms of kind of, part of a portfolio planning, or just a really safe breathing space in all this chaos, I think it's relevant right now.
Yeah. Marguerite, if I can ask, I read in the invitation that construction has started, correct? You may have covered that. Yeah. Okay.
Yes. So we had to buy 2 cranes from Paris because that was cheaper to rent them from the States.
Okay.
So they've arrived. Then the boys are ownership's very excited about having cranes, and they're all up. So yes, we've got exterior construction has started in earnest, and our delivery date is Q2 28.
Okay. Thank you.
And that's a really good point to note as well, because obviously there's a lot of developments that are expecting you to invest way before construction has started, and it's nerve-wracking, especially around the Caribbean region. That can sometimes put people off. So it's really great to be able to say construction started. And on that note, if you have any buyers that are curious to come, it would be great if they're vetted buyers and they're really keen, then absolutely we can, bring them around to have a look. So that's something, there's a sales office there, and absolutely possible for them to be able to have a look. So it's a nice thing for them to be able to say as well, if that's what they want to do.
Yeah, they'll be collected in a Range Rover branded with the Mandarin Oriental, we can help with concierge planning and where they want to stay and what they want to do. We can show them the best of the island, and just use us. If you've got someone that you think could be of interest, then, and you feel you don't know the details as well as Claudia and I do, we're there to help. So just, that's our reason for being here. And if you want to bring us into the loop at any point in time, we're just here to support.
Exactly. Anything at all that will help shape your presentations. We've got assets galore. And as obviously the different construction stages happen too, it would be captured on video and images, and we can just continue to follow that story with your client if that's what they want. But let us know early on so we can include them in things. We can update you as things progress. And yeah, let's give them something wonderful to look forward to in Grand Cayman.
There's only one other thing that's just come to my mind. That was an interesting conversation I had the other day. And correct me if I'm wrong, Marguerite, but when it comes to incentives with regards to the residency, I believe it doesn't matter that completion is Q1 of 28, and that can actually start beforehand, can't it? In terms of if clients are interested in residency or also incorporating, because I know there's some trusts and bigger, more institutional funds that are interested in the development, and those incentives start before, even though construction won't be finished until then.
No, absolutely. And residency, there's not a one fits all policy, but it's pretty straightforward, and we have some amazing people that can help your clients talk through the tax issues, the residency issues, and the pathway to a Grand Cayman passport, which is like it's not a British passport, but it's as strong as a British passport. So that's quite interesting for some buyers as well.
In fact, Eddie was over on Thursday and we were talking about sort of the global strategy for clients and stuff. And he was talking about, the plan A and talking about plan B. And then we brought plan C into it as well. But Eddie's idea of plan A is to have everything, as it would be. So he's like, well, you've got your European base, you've got your American base, and you've got your Caribbean base. But the idea of the conversation about the plan B is edging into that conversations with your clients. So when you know that somebody is an ultra high net worth individual, it's okay to be able to talk to them about what is your plan B. Everyone kind of knows what that is. That's like if something happens in the country that they're in, if they've only got one passport or one form of residency, it pretty much makes you stay where you are. Because if you imagine if there's a big exodus within whatever country they're in, you're not going to be going anywhere anytime soon unless you have that residency already in place. Already it's starting to feel like there's a delay in certain countries with citizenship by investment. And so this is a really good way to have that in kind of a conversation that just says, look, what is your plan B? Can I assist you in any way with your plan B? And that is, of course, a residency or a citizenship by investment. If it's Antigua, which we have the Nikki Beach development in, that's citizenship by investment, which we can organise. And the residency in Grand Cayman just means that they've got that place, they've got their investment safe, their taxes sorted, their future for the inheritance for the children is sorted. And of course, there's that residency if they need to escape. And who wouldn't want to escape to somewhere like the Grand Cayman? So just have those conversations with them, and it just takes you in a different level of conversation with your clients. So
I know I can talk about this all day, so I promise this is the last point I'm going to make, I promise. But the Grand Cayman is incredibly safe. So our ultra high net worth clients are buying because they know that they can send their young adult children there on holiday when they're going on for spring break with their friends, and they'll be perfectly safe there. Also, famous people, there's a kind of unwritten rule that people aren't allowed to bother famous people. So that any photographs, paparazzi is completely shunned. So in terms of privacy, respect, safety, that is also a number one reason to buy in the Grand Cayman.
That's very important as well.
One sec, we have a question.
Oh, we have a question in the boardroom. We have a question in London.
Sorry, with the residency in Grand Cayman, some people obviously sometimes invest in Grand Cayman for a route to another place.
Yeah.
So if someone from the US were to invest or gain residency in the Cayman Island, would that give a route back to the UK?
That's
100%.
interesting. A lot of them, I think sometimes like it depends. Also, a lot of them you don't require the whole visa entry as well in a lot of the countries too. Okay. So that's definitely an advantage.
So if they were a resident of the Grand Cayman, would they be able to stay in the UK for a certain amount of time, like 90 days or something like that?
Do you know, with the UK,
it's British overseas.
It
is with the
but
British
I don't know. We would, before you give any information, let's fact check all of that. And that's the thing that this is great about. Let's find out the answers to all of this.
Obviously, there's a huge US contingent. Well, we hear that there's a US contingent coming over to the UK. So their tax planning might be, let's get a residency in the Grand Cayman to offset any taxes that we may be paying in the UK, and have that residency so that we can then go to the UK and we can stay there for as long as we want. So
we just need to double check, especially with the UK. I wouldn't want to. Can you pass that pen? Actually, just a point on that. The reason there's a lot of funds that set up in Grand Cayman, obviously as well, from a tax perspective, if you've got a fund that you've set up in Grand Cayman, then any profits that are made in that fund aren't taxed. So that's why a lot of them do have their funds there, which is, it would make sense, to be honest with you. I think there's
no corporation tax.
Yeah, exactly. There's like 12,000 investment funds in Grand Cayman at the moment for a country that's pretty tiny. Okay, I think what we could do, we're going to stay open here anyway. If anyone wants to stay on and just have a chit chat and see what everyone's up to. But what we'll do is we'll come to a close on this particular one here, but with a follow up with all of the information coming out to you all. So each one of you, I will send packs to you about everything, and then let's just flow the conversation. And like Marguerite said, if you want us to step in and get involved in any way, however big or small, we would love to be able to help you secure a sale on this.
And just a note for anyone watching it post in recording, if there's anything you want to say.
Of course. Yes, for those of you who weren't able to make it, that's okay. You'll see us anyway. But yeah, no, it's lovely to have everybody at Nest Seekers together. It's about collaborating, of course, wherever we are in the world, and share your exciting listings with us as well, so that when we're talking to these people, we can also let them know what you're up to as well. So let's keep it all in the nest. And yeah, I wish you all well. Stay safe, and thank you for your time today. And Marguerite,